All right, we'll move along to the other game on Thursday night, Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, 1-point home favorites in this game. The total currently 62 across the board in this one. App State, look, this is the team that's definitely underachieved. This is a team that has not played as well as I think we all thought, but they are off back-to-back wins. First time all season they've had back-to-back wins. Beating Georgia State at home, although they didn't cover that game. They were 7.5-point favorites. They won by 7. And then against a very good Old Dominion team, especially the way ODU has been playing of late with Colton Joseph at quarterback. That was probably one of the better performances I've seen all year on both sides of the ball from App State. Offensively, from Aguilar, he was better. And that's about as good as I've seen the defense play, forcing some turnovers, bending but not breaking in the red zone throughout the course of that game. And it ended up being a nice win for App State in the midst of a disappointing year. They still got outgained, though, by Old Dominion. But again, they made the stops count. They forced some turnovers. And again, Old Dominion just didn't finish as many of their drives with touchdowns as I think they'd like. That defense is still leaky a bit for App State, but at least it was a step in the right direction. Meanwhile, Coastal Carolina, they've lost 3 in a row, and things are starting to head back downhill a bit for them. Blown out by James Madison. They lose to Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns, although they're a pretty good team. But what's the excuse for losing off a bye week as 4-point road favorites to Troy, who we've talked about on this show all season? They're way down from where they've been in the past. It's not a good look at all for Coastal. Shredded on the defensive side of the football by a Troy offense that hadn't done, a whole lot prior to that game. They couldn't stop the run. I mean, they just ran like crazy over this Coastal defense. Damian Taylor and Gerald Green in particular combining for over 300 rushing yards against this Coastal Carolina defense. Not exactly the kind of defense you want to see here for Coastal Carolina going into this game. The good news, though, for them here is Appalachian State hasn't run the football that well this year. And obviously, if Coastal's going to struggle against the run, you don't want to be up against a team that can run the football well. Appalachian State's run offense has been spotty. We know the run defense has been horrible for Coastal. They prefer to throw the ball. It might not be as bad of a matchup for Coastal because, again, App State struggled to run the football at times. Even though I'm seeing some improvement from App State, we're still talking about a team that I'm not ready to trust them to go on the road and win. This team, other than a narrow victory against East Carolina, who, as we talked about, have kind of disappointed this year. They get blown out by Clemson. They get blown out by 15 at Marshall. They lose by 10 at Louisiana. So they've only got the one road win on the season, App State. Not easy to trust Coastal after that was so bad for Coastal last week. Out of a bye week with extra time, and that's the way you play against Troy. Not a good look for Coastal, so it's not easy to trust them. But I trust App State on the road to win even less. So I'll lean Coastal here, around to pick them at home. I think the over could get there. I don't know if I trust these defenses right now. C-Mac back with us. Connor, what do you think here? App State, Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, it just seems like maybe that's not who they truly were kind of early on. I mean, those first, they scored, 55? I remember against Jacksonville State.
How the hell did they beat Jacksonville State? Because Jacksonville State's been so good ever since then.
I don't know what. Yeah,
turnovers
with all these guys back. Yeah, and they got just punched in the mouth, and by halftime, they were down 28-7. Yeah, turnovers hasn't been good for them. On the other side, for App State, the best thing for App State, I talk about it all the time, is Old Dominion, and they shot themselves in the foot. 4 turnovers, 3 fumbles, especially in the second half. The only thing is the App State at home had a little bit allure their dog, and every time I always talk about, the week before they got it done. That line actually moved not in their favor too.
Yep.
Against what was it, Georgia State the week before, right? Yeah, against Georgia State.
Georgia State, yep.
Had a big win, but it just seems like when they're a favorite, watch out. They're in that game, and they lost. So this is a tough one for me. Both teams can score. These defenses are not very good, and there should be turnovers. I just worry maybe the total's a little bit high. I mean, in the end, I don't know if it gets there. I think at 62.5, it's just a little bit up there. but I do think we can get some points in this one. And I want neither of these two teams. I think App State was at home. I think they could be a look. I can't take them on the road. So, well.
No, I understand that, no doubt. But like I say, I lean Coastal a little bit, but I have a lack of trust in both.
Hopefully
of
they
these
flip the
teams
switch.
right now. But yeah, that's why I don't have as much trust in Coastal. I should want to take them because I don't trust App State on the road. But my goodness, you come out of the bye week and that's how you play against Troy, who have been obviously way down this year compared to where they were last year. That's alarming. That's alarming for Coastal. We'll see if they can bounce back. All right.